Imagine giving something a try before you call it the worst thing ever. We were all blindsided by Shadows, a real-time Fire Emblem with social deduction, auto battles, animal people, Centaur Lyn. I don't blame anyone for being confused by this, and I got in on some early jokes myself, but there's more to Shadows than that. My first impressions were mixed. Their debut trailer was really weird without context, and seeing something so different out of nowhere did make it look like a bizarre scam, like certain cash grab mobile games that have spawned from popular IPs. Then you look at the game, and the art for the characters is great, and the intro is fully voice acted, but the dialogue is full of awkward as you know exposition to get players up to speed. After the first few minutes I wanted to try more, but didn't think Shadows would keep my interest for more than a few days. Maybe that'll still happen, but I think there's plenty of potential here. Let's address the gameplay first. Matches are really short, so it's easy to squeeze one or two in whenever you're bored and have a few minutes to spare. This also means you have little time to spot the shadow player or sabotage the light players. While the gameplay is an auto battler, the game seems to be built with this in mind. Because some attacks have a delay before landing, you can use movement abilities to dodge them or pull an enemy into its path instead, since offensive and defensive abilities have friendly fire. Some characters can even warp to further sow discord, which can backfire hilariously if you swap places with an enemy right before your teammate's attack hits the tile they were on. To the Zasha player I killed by doing this 3 times in a row, I'm sorry. I'm curious how the meta will unfold, and given how flexible kits are, I hope we won't have the same power creep issue Fade has had for a few years to come. Then there's the story split between light and shadow perspectives. Right now the latter focuses on both the antagonists and exploring the world of Shadows, while the former is a traditional Fire Emblem story, or is it? While it clearly takes inspiration from Marx, a prince flees his kingdom after his father is killed aided by his retainers, there have already been some interesting spins in the formula, one of which you likely know if you've heard anything about Shadows' plot already. Likewise, the Shadow story stresses how both gods of the world want good things for their people, order or freedom respectively. It's a shame shadow powers manifest in obviously evil ways, and I hope later updates explore the possible nuance of the situation. I'd rather not have another Valentia where both gods are said to have pros and cons, yet we only see the story from one side's perspective. That takes me to my next topic. Is this really a Fire Emblem game? It plays and looks very differently to what we expect, so maybe it did begin life as a new IP and FE was slapped onto it to make it sell. However, if this happened, I think it was early enough for FE to have been baked into it at a deep level. I already mentioned the story plays on familiar tropes, but then you have the Cain and Abel stand-ins with similar names who turn into a literal Red Bull and Green Panther. The OST is great and sneaks in remixes of the standard theme throughout. Seriously, the OST feels like it belongs to a mainline entry, and both Lyn and Dimitri get amazing medleys of tracks from their games for their battle themes. Shadows is a unique take on the franchise, to put it mildly, but DNA did make an effort to make it fit. But let's address the flaws. First, I think the UI needs optimizing. Right now, there's no way to toggle between light and shadow modes when switching a character's equipped skills and weapons. We need to back out to the character menu, press the toggle there, then re-enter the equipment one. There's also no integration with the inbuilt back button on my phone, which feels like a bizarre oversight. Also, while this isn't a gacha game, it uses the Warframe model of each character having an unlocked currency you earn by playing, or as weebs call it, the Duanite Abyss model. Drops seem to be incredibly rare. Right now you can get 11 of the 14 playables by progressing the story, including Dimitri, which baffles me. That's good. That each character also lets you use their skills on any other character is also good. Lyn is part of the season pass and will be added to the drop pool later, but again, very low odds. This is only going to get worse as more characters are added, so I hope IS does something about it now, so we don't end up with a bloated character pool, something else Hero suffers from. I'd mentioned the Bazaar too, but that's a player-run marketplace. While the devs could implement restrictions to stop price hikes or make discarding worthless equipment easier, a big part of how well it performs will come down to players regulating themselves. I'm not one for complex game theory or analysis, so I just wanted to make a brief impressions video and do my part for the community. Given Shadows has gotten very little attention and most of it is clickbait slot based on knee-jerk reactions, it isn't perfect, but there's more here than people give it credit for, and with a few tweaks we could have something really good on our hands, so give it a try. Thanks as always for watching. Remember to do all the YouTube stuff and consider subscribing to my Patreon. As always, have a great day.